Shalom Uvracha. Parashas Re'eh is occupied more than any other parasha in the Torah with matters of the Mikdash, of the temple in Yerushalayim. Now, the Torah singles out a specific place for the temple to be. And the question is, why is this so important? Everything seems to go through this place and this temple, both, of course, matters of offerings, korbanos, also other things that are peripheral to korbanos, for example, tithes, trumot, and masrot that we bring to Yerushalayim, but also our prayers. Each one of our prayers has to go through Yerushalayim, to go through this special place. That's what Shlomo HaMelech says in the special speech that he gives at the time of the inauguration of the temple. He says every prayer, wherever the Jewish people might find themselves, should go through this place. This place is, as it were, it binds together all of the prayers of the Jewish people, and they rise to the heavens through this place, through this temple. And the question is why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, is omnipresent. He's everywhere. He's not limited to a temple. He's not limited to any place. So why should there be this specific place, this specific location with the temple that should somehow, everything should be focused, should go through there? Why? Why is there a need for this? So there are many ideas that one could express over here. First of all, it's a special place. Already from the time of Avraham Avinu and Akedat Yitzchak, the binding of Yitzchak, we find that this is a special place where heaven and earth meet. On the other hand, the Maharal in several places explains that we need one place that unifies all of the service of the Jewish people. Our service of God, whether it's sacrificial, whether it's our prayers, is not an individual service. We as individuals, we serve Hashem nationally as part of an entire nation. And that nation is united in one place within the Mikdash. That's why our exile, our galus, the Maharal explains, goes together, the destruction of the temple and the dispersion of the Jewish people. But I'd like to highlight one word that our parasha mentions, and I think it's a very significant word in understanding the importance of the place, and that is the word choice. Ki im el hamakom asher yivchar Hashem Elokecha, the place that God chooses, l'shaken es shmo sham, to dwell, that He enshrines His name within a place. It's a matter of choice. Hashem chooses the place. And the idea of choice is so deep and so inherent to the connection between us and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and indeed to every relationship. If a connection is transactional, then we can go to the other person and try to persuade him to buy our wares, whatever it is we're selling. We don't have it all, but we have certain things. Maybe you want to try it. But when a connection is beyond the transactional, when a connection is covenantal, it's not a contract, but a covenant, then we relate to the other person as is. We don't try to change him. We don't try to offer him something that he doesn't want. We accept him the way he is, and we relate to him the way he is. And there's a covenant between the two people, each one the way they are, but they join together to form one, with each one not changing from his essence. Hashem says He chooses a place. He chooses the way in which the Jewish people is to worship, is to serve Hashem. And we mustn't budge one iota from that choice, from the way that Hashem brings Himself, His side of the connection to the table, as it were, to us. Hashem reveals Himself with His choice, and we serve Him with His, as it were, preference. Again, the word of the pasuk is what He chooses. That's how we serve Him. We don't say, hey, I have my own way. Hashem, maybe you want something else. That's not how the covenant works. The covenant works with a given, What the other side chooses, what he wishes, that's a given. And we bring ourselves to that given as the other side of the covenant. And this is true for everyday relationships too. If we want a true relationship with another, then we can't come to the table, we can't come to that relationship by trying to change the other that he should fit my needs and my wants. No, a relationship accepts the other as a given, and I bring myself as a part of that relationship and accept the way that he or she is. And therefore, if I want to communicate with that person, then I can't change the language of communication. I have to accept the preferred, the given language, whatever it is, and bring myself to that language, just as an example. The same is true with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, with Hashem. There are things within our service of Hashem that are a given. They're a given because that's what Hashem chooses. That's what He chose. And indeed, the Gemara says about the Mikdash, about the temple, that everything within the temple is divinely ordained. We don't have the right to change anything, even to build. The Gemara at the end of Sukkah speaks about building a special gallery within the Mikdash and says we need a special permission to do such a thing because it wasn't directed explicitly by divinely ordained. This is a deep lesson for us today in terms of mitzvahs, because sometimes we want to change things. We say, why should we do the mitzvah in this way? Let's change it. Let's do something else. Why specifically this? The Mikdash gives us an understanding, an insight into why we can't change things. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chooses the way in which He is revealed, the service that we need to bring to Him in order to be a part of that relationship. It's not up to us to determine it. There are certain things that depend on interpretation, and there are others that are a given, the way that they're given from Hashem. Those things that are given, we have to bring ourselves to the relationship the way that Hashem chooses. And through that, then we'll merit, Be'ezrat Hashem, speedily in our days, the rebuilding of the temple and the renewal of the service the way that Hashem chooses it. We should all have a beautiful Shabbos.